Kelly Ripa has never been one to shy away from poking fun at herself, whether on her morning talk show or in interviews where she often turns even the most innocent question into a stand-up routine. But when Julianne Hough, the multi-talented dancer and judge from Dancing with the Stars, floated the idea that Ripa should consider strapping on ballroom heels and competing in the high-stakes dance contest, Ripa's reaction was instant, witty, and very, very Kelly. "I have an ego," she quipped, waving her hands in mock protest on Live with Kelly and Mark. "And Dancing with the Stars is a show that will flatten it in 5 minutes. I've spent decades building my self-confidence, and I'm not about to let Derek Hough cha-cha me back to square one." The audience erupted in laughter, and even her husband and co-host, Mark Consuelos, couldn't resist chuckling at her refusal. But as with most things Kelly, there's always a deeper layer hidden under the humor, a mix of self-awareness, humility, and an understanding of exactly how television works. Julianne Hough's friendly challenge. It all began backstage when Julianne Hough, now returning as a co-host of DWTS after years of serving as both competitor and judge, was chatting with Ripa. According to insiders, Hough teased Ripa that she'd be perfect for the show's next celebrity lineup. After all, Ripa has energy, comedic timing, and a fearless approach to live television. Plus, she's no stranger to movement. Fans remember her years of aerobic dance workouts on morning TV, not to mention the occasional TikTok-inspired routines she's gamely attempted with her kids. "You'd be great," Julianne reportedly told her, with the kind of encouragement that only a world champion dancer could give. "You've got charisma, stamina, and America already loves you. That's half the battle." But Ripa, being Ripa, had the perfect comeback. "Yes, but America also loves watching people crash and burn, and I refuse to be that meme." Kelly's comic self-awareness. On Live, Ripa elaborated on why she'd never sign up for the glitter-covered competition. "Listen, I like to dance at weddings, at parties, in my kitchen, sometimes even in the grocery store aisle. But there's a big difference between that and someone handing me a bedazzled costume and saying, 'Now perform the Argentine tango for 12 million people.' That's not dancing. That's a public trial." Her humor aside, Ripa tapped into a truth that many celebrities face when they sign onto DWTS, the vulnerability of being judged, literally and figuratively, while learning a skill in front of a national audience. Even athletic, high-energy stars often find themselves humbled under the grueling rehearsal schedules, tricky choreography, and the weight of sequined costumes that, as Ripa joked, add 10 pounds of rhinestones, but subtract 20 pounds of dignity if you trip. Mark Consuelos stirs the pot. Consuelos, never one to miss a chance to tease his wife, chimed in during the broadcast. "I think you'd actually be amazing," he said, leaning into the camera with a mischievous grin. "You've got rhythm, you've got style, and honestly, I think you'd win." Kelly, mock horrified, shook her head. "Don't you dare manifest this, Mark. If you even say it enough times, ABC will put me in sequence faster than you can say Paso Doble. And then our marriage will be over, because I'll be crying every night after rehearsal." The audience loved the banter, but it also reflected something genuine. Ripa's playful but firm insistence that while she's game for most on-air challenges, dancing under that kind of spotlight isn't one of them. The ego factor. Ripa's now infamous line, "I have an ego," sparked laughter, but it also resonated with fans who admire her candor. Unlike many celebrities who might politely deflect the suggestion, Ripa leaned into brutal honesty. "My ego couldn't take it," she admitted. "Imagine working all day on this show, then going to rehearse for 6 hours, only to have a judge tell me my samba looked like I was escaping a swarm of bees. I would crumble." This is classic Kelly Ripa. She can take the everyday fears of public embarrassment and exaggerate them into comic gold. Yet, beneath the punchline, she acknowledges the difficulty of opening yourself up to that kind of critique after a career spent being the one who usually sets the tone. Fans react. Social media, as expected, had a field day. Clips of Ripa's rejection circulated with captions like, "Protect Kelly at all costs," and "She knows her limits," and "We respect her." Others joked about starting a petition to get her onto DWTS regardless of her protests. One fan wrote, Kelly would be hilarious on the show. Even if she never made it past week 1, her confessionals alone would win the season. Another chimed in, if she teamed up with Val Shmerkovsky, we'd have comedy, chemistry, and chaos. The perfect TV. But a majority of fans supported her stance, with many echoing her sentiment about ego. I wouldn't last 5 minutes either, one person tweeted. If Bruno Tonioli told me I had spaghetti arms, I'd retire from public life. What if she did compete? Of course, imagining Kelly on DWTS is half the fun. Picture her first dance, a cha-cha set to an early 2000s pop anthem, her face a mix of sheer determination and utter disbelief. Mark in the audience, holding up a handmade sign that reads, 10 for Kelly. Julianne on the mic, encouraging her like a proud friend. Week after week, Ripa would narrate her journey on live, providing hysterical behind-the-scenes stories of falling out of lifts or accidentally hitting her partner in the face. Even her exits would be iconic. No tears, just one-liners like, I'm leaving before the samba leaves me. But alas, this will remain in the realm of fan fantasy. Ripa has declared her stance, and if there's one thing she's known for, it's sticking to her guns once she's delivered a punchline. Why Kelly won't need DWTS. In truth, Kelly Ripa doesn't need the boost that DWTS often gives celebrities. Her career is flourishing. Her talk show with Mark continues to dominate morning ratings. She's a producer on multiple projects, and her sharp social media presence keeps her firmly in the cultural conversation. Unlike many DWTS competitors who use the show to reintroduce themselves to audiences, Ripa has never faded from the spotlight. Why would I go on a show to prove I can't do something, she asked. I'd rather stick to the things I can do, like drinking coffee, talking too much, and occasionally wearing a dress that shocks my children. Julianne's good humor. For her part, Julianne Hough reportedly laughed just as hard at Ripa's refusal as everyone else did. A source said Julianne told her, that's exactly why you'd be perfect. The audience would love you for being you. But she also respected Ripa's decision and joked, maybe we'll just drag you into rehearsal one day for a cameo. The final word. Kelly Ripa has built her brand on authenticity wrapped in humor, and her rejection of Julianne Hough's DWTS suggestion was no different. By saying, I have an ego, she gave fans another memorable Ripa moment, half comedy, half confession, and entirely relatable. So while it looks like viewers won't be seeing Kelly Ripa spin across the Dancing with the Stars ballroom anytime soon, they can rest assured she'll continue to entertain from her own stage. And honestly, watching her roast the idea from the safety of her morning show couch is probably even more fun.